fighting!
Alright guys, we have UFC 253 approaching us, and in the co-main event of this card, the vacant UFC Light Heavyweight Championship will be on the line when the uncrowned king of the division, Dominick Reyes, takes on the heavy-hitting Polish striker, Jan Blachowicz. Back at UFC 247, what probably should have been the biggest upset of the year became what many of the fans saw as the biggest robbery of the year, when Jon Jones earned a controversial decision victory over Reyes, defending his championship and handing Reyes the first loss of his career. After a long reign at the top of the light heavyweight division, Jon Jones has decided to relinquish his title as champion and pursue the heavyweight strap, giving Reyes the opportunity to solidify himself as the best light heavyweight fighter in the world. On the other side of the cage, however, will be Jan Blachowicz, who established himself as the #1 contender with a vicious knockout over a surging Corey Anderson, and had previously earned an impressive knockout against the former middleweight champion, Luke Rockhold, as well as a decision victory over former Strikeforce middleweight champ, Jacare Souza. At the age of 37, with a long career under his belt, this could possibly be Jan's one and only chance at the ultimate accolade in the sport of MMA. Looking at the stats, we have Dominick Reyes coming in at 6 feet 4 inches tall with a 77-inch reach. We have Jan Blachowicz coming in at 6 feet 2 inches tall with a 78-inch reach. So we have Dominick Reyes coming in with a slight height advantage, and Jan taking the slight reach advantage. Dominick Reyes is an athletic powerhouse with dynamic striking and a well-rounded game overall. He's very agile and very light on his feet, being able to avoid his opponent's power shots while landing strikes from the outside. He has excellent straight punches down the middle and is heavy-handed with one-punch knockout power. He also has an excellent kicking game, using leg kicks and body kicks to keep his opponents at bay, as well as a devastating head kick to take them out. Being a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Reyes has shown to be a good grappler with a dangerous submission game, but he prefers to use his excellent takedown defense to keep his fight standing. Jan Blachowicz is a hard-hitting, durable veteran of the game with dangerous power. He's also a striker with excellent boxing in the pocket and heavy forward pressure. He has fast hands and mixes his strikes up very well to the head and body. He's heavy-handed and is just as dangerous moving backward as he is forward, making him a threat anywhere in the fight. Jan is an excellent grappler with a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and a number of submission victories under his belt, making him just as deadly on the ground as he is on the feet. Alright, now looking at the fight itself. With Dominick Reyes coming off one of the best performances of his career against the possible greatest mixed martial artist of all time, it's easy to see why so many fans are writing Jan Blachowicz off in this fight. But looking at how they match up stylistically, I'd argue that Jan could potentially be Reyes' most dangerous opponent to date, even more so than Jon Jones himself. Other than Jones, the only opponent in Reyes' career to give him trouble was vacant in a controversial fight that many believe that Reyes had lost, despite the judge's decision. In this bout, Oezdemir used forward pressure to keep Reyes on the defensive, while occasionally blitzing in with hooks and landing some clean strikes, and also took Reyes down multiple times. Oezdemir has a somewhat similar style to that of Jan, except that Jan, in my opinion, is much faster and much more explosive than Oezdemir, and is just as powerful. On top of this, Jan is a much better grappler. In Jan's fight with Alexander Gustafsson, who has a build and reach similar to that of Reyes, Jan had no problem forcing his way through Gustafsson's range and landed heavy combinations on him, outlanding him in just about every striking exchange. Gustafsson had to rely on his wrestling to take the fight to the ground, where he dominated with ground and pound inside of Jan's guard. Although Reyes is a decent wrestler in his own right, he isn't known to shoot for takedowns, and when he has, it wasn't with much success as we saw in his fight with Oezdemir. So if things get heated for him in the stand-up department with Jan, I don't think that taking him to the ground will be an option for him. Should Jan be able to force his way through Reyes' reach like Oezdemir did, I see him landing more volume and landing harder, putting Reyes in danger of a finish. And if he can get Reyes to the ground, I see Jan being able to control him and possibly set up a submission where Oezdemir couldn't. However, going back to Jan's fight with Gustafsson, one thing that stood out in those striking exchanges was that Gus was unusually stationary and wasn't using the footwork that he's known for, nor was he looking to escape any heated exchanges like we've seen him do against Jon Jones and Glover Teixeira. This is probably because he knew he could rely on his wrestling, but with Reyes being more of a striker than anything else, I see footwork and cutting angles being a major key in Reyes' game plan, just as it was against Jon Jones. While Reyes' boxing isn't as technically sound as Gustafsson's, I would say that he's a lot more mobile and has better head movement, making him overall better at avoiding damage. Reyes has yet to have been rocked in his UFC run, and I would say that it's due to his ability to maintain distance even against some of the rangiest fighters in the division, as well as his ability to escape heated exchanges with his speed and head movement. He's also dangerous with counterstrikes when backed up toward the fence, so trying to blitz or corner him isn't always a safe bet. That being said, Reyes does have a tendency to blitz in and pressure his opponents when he sees the opportunity, and Jan is just as lethal of a counterstriker when being pressured, so Reyes will probably have to maintain distance for the entire bout unless he can completely stun Jan and move forward for the finish. One other key aspect of Reyes' game is his leg kicks, which he used effectively against Jones to slow down the oncoming pressure. I believe that he will use leg kicks against Jan, and that it will be just as effective, especially considering that Jan's movement is lateral just like Jon Jones's. One aspect of Jan's game that will definitely be in his favor is his grappling. And if he can get Reyes to the ground like Oezdemir did, he should be able to have better success at controlling Reyes and possibly setting up a submission. However, Reyes' fight with Oezdemir seems to be a bit of an anomaly, as Reyes himself said that he wasn't expecting Oezdemir to shoot in and wasn't prepared to defend takedowns as a result. In his next two fights, we saw him defend takedowns against an NCAA Division I All-American in Chris Weidman and against John Jones, who had previously been able to take down an Olympic bronze medalist in Daniel Cormier. Given that Jan isn't much of a wrestler, I don't believe that he'll be able to take Reyes to the ground, unless Reyes completely disregards any takedown threat from Jan, which I don't believe that he will. We have seen Jan be able to take down and out-grapple a former collegiate wrestler in Corey Anderson during their first bout, but Jan seemed to have depleted his gas tank in doing so, leading to his loss against Anderson. So I don't think that trying to wrestle against Reyes, who has proven to have excellent takedown defense, would be a smart approach for Jan. If Jan wants to make this a grappling match, he'll probably need to look out for Reyes' teep and body kicks, and use them to get Reyes off balance. As far as my prediction goes, I believe that Dominick Reyes will be able to exploit Jan's lateral movement, using footwork and cutting angles to outstrike Jan from the outside, as well as using leg kicks to keep Jan at range and slow his forward pressure down. Given Jan's durability and Reyes' fading cardio in the later rounds, I don't believe he'll get a finish over Jan, but I believe that he'll be able to stay defensive enough in the 4th and 5th to keep out of danger and go the distance, earning himself a decision win. That being said, Jan Blachowicz is nobody to count out in this fight. Jan has faster hand speed and more precision with his boxing than Reyes. So just like in his fight with John Jones, Reyes will have to be on point for the entire fight. We've seen what happened to Luke Rockhold and Corey Anderson when they disregarded Jan's threat, and should Reyes do the same, I could easily see Jan getting a knockout and pulling off a huge upset in this fight. Not only is this an exciting matchup between two elite contenders, but it's also the beginning of an exciting new era in the light heavyweight division, filled with rising talent working toward their chance at the ultimate glory of the sport. I'll definitely be looking forward to seeing who leads this new era as our new undisputed light heavyweight champion. I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
I fought Jan, probably 2,000 times by now, maybe more. I don't know. I fight him all day long, every day, all day, just like I fought everyone before him. Yeah, man, I'm gonna win. I honestly, I don't have a prediction for this one. I really don't. I'm gonna win. That's all I know. I'm winning.